Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night and it's time for weight loss psychology, because when it comes to your health goals, yes, the physical part is actually the easy part and the mental and emotional is the difficult one. So, I just work on the premises that a lot of people come to me and say, I need to fix my body to fix my head. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. We have to fix our head to fix our body, because in order to, we got to that position in that place by doing something specific. We need to figure out how to deal with that and then get to a healthy spot, and then our body will follow. So tonight's episode, episode number 4, we're talking about how to get your friends and family to support your health goals. And I know it can be difficult. I know, one of the biggest issues is a lot of times the people that you think are going to support you the most are the ones that actually end up kind of giving you some flack. And it's not that they don't want you to do well, it's that they don't want you to do better than they're willing to do themselves, right? So it's kind of the whole, misery loves company. It's really difficult to get people on board when, they're not doing it themselves. They're not eating right. They're not exercising. So keep that in mind. Don't take it personally. It's just one of those things you're going to have to deal with. But there are some things that you can do in order to help people at least be supportive, and hopefully not sabotage your efforts. Although you're going to find that. You're going to. That's part of life. You're also, be careful who you share your goals with. A lot of times when you start posting your goals on social media, especially, you're going to find some haters. That's just how this works. Again, don't take it personally. It's people who aren't willing to do the work themselves. And so, of course, they don't want to support you because you are willing to do the work. And it makes it very difficult. And that is why you need to find like-minded people to spend time around, which was part of another episode that I did not too long ago. So let's talk about how to get friends and family on board. Now, it's very difficult, especially with family, especially if they're not, if you have a significant other that's really not supporting your goals. And it happens. It actually happens a lot. There's a couple things that you can do there. From my experience, I've had to do a couple things in my past in order to get family on board. Part of it is you just have to be a good example. Just keep in mind, being a good example, especially when kids are involved, you're their best example. They're watching what you do, and maybe they've known you for a long time. They've watched you, try some diets and not do well, and go backwards and fail. And sometimes we just have to have that, I'm going to show you attitude. And that's actually one of my tips that I'm going to give you in just a minute. But one of the best ways to get at least family on board is to involve them in part of the process of setting your goal, right? So, if maybe you make it a family goal, or maybe, hey, you guys, this is what mom's going to do. I really need your help on this. How do you feel like you can best help me? And I'm going to, not necessarily reward that, but do something that makes them feel valuable as part of your goal. It might just be, I'm going to make something a little bit different every night. And one of the things I did with my kids, and it wasn't super successful, at least not in the beginning, was, we go out to dinner or go out with friends and family, and go to a meal. And my kids would get chocolate cake or something. I'd be like, what, just tell me it doesn't taste good. And they'd be like, oh gosh, Mom, this is the best cake ever. And I'm like, you guys are not helpful. So keep that in mind. But there are ways that you can work around that. And like I said, making them part of the goal is a big portion of that, especially if they're old enough to understand what's happening. Now, your significant other, that's the situation all on its own. So the first thing that you might try, again, is to really explain the importance of your goal, and how much it means to you and how they can specifically help you. One of the things I did at my house was, listen, first of all, don't hide chocolate around the house, so that when Melissa has a meltdown, you bring it out and be like, hey, baby, you can have some chocolate. I want you to feel good. That wasn't helping, right? So I really had to say, you've got whatever it is, you can have it, but don't bring it home, right? You guys eat those things, because I know you're not going to stop, but don't bring it home, because then that becomes a problem for me, especially if I'm having a very stressful day and you're bringing chocolate home somewhere. I'm going to find it, I'm going to eat it, and then I'm going to be upset with myself, and I'm going to hit the guilt cycle, right? The other thing that you might have to do, ladies, is use tears. And I'm sorry about that, but when something's important enough for you and you're really not getting the support that you need, you might have to just help them to understand how important that is for you, because, especially, again, if they've watched us kind of go up and down and yo-yo diet and try and then fail, and maybe, on one hand, they're trying to spare us of the pain of, not making it. But, you know, again, that's your responsibility to try and make it work and not theirs to, you know, buffer that. You know, we want their support. We need their help. So that might be, that was something that worked very, very well for me. Now, one of the interesting things is, especially with your significant other, they might watch you long enough and see changes that they might join you in that goal. Not always, but they might join you in that goal, and then you have a buddy, right? The other thing with that is, if for some odd reason you're not getting the response from your family that you need in support, find outside support. Now, that could be a coach, and a lot of times it has to be. You need that outside set of eyes that's not, you know, emotionally attached to you or romantically attached to you as well. You need that help. You know, I let my clients text me 24/7 if they're having a bad day. I want to know about it, because I'm going to cheer them on and be like, which do you want more? Do you want that pizza that your family keeps bringing home? Or do you want to feel good and look good in that bikini when you go to Hawaii next month? You know, sometimes you just need that outside set of eyes, and I call it coming to Jesus talk, but you just need that extra help and support there. Or a friend, somebody who is within, you know, that has similar goals to you, or a friend you've met at the gym, or somebody that can really kind of cheer you on and help you to stay on track when nobody else is doing that. Now, friends are a little bit different ballgame. You know, one of the biggest issues I had with friends was that once they figured out I really wasn't going to go out and drink anymore, and I wasn't, you know, doing some of the things that you know, hey, Melissa's fun, they stopped talking to me, you know, and part of it was they thought I was judging them, and I'm not. You know what, you guys do whatever you want to do, that is your choice. And every once in a while I'm like, hey, I'll go out with you. I'm not going to drink alcohol. I'm going to have a soda, which is horrible for you as well. But, you know, at least I can go out and spend some time with them. But that had to be their choice. Now, if people are really being unsupportive, or, you know, one of the things that you might deal with is peer pressure. I know that seems weird. We think we don't deal with that anymore after high school. That is so not true. It happens. Peer pressure happens. You know, you might have to just stay away from those people for a while. You know, one of the best things for me now is I've been in this lifestyle for, you know, a decade or so. People don't even question it. Of course, I look the part, I act the part. I'm the weirdo that brings my own meals sometimes to restaurants if I'm going out with friends, because maybe that restaurant doesn't have anything I can have. They're used to it. They don't question that anymore. But in the beginning, it took a while to help people understand where I was going and what I needed from them, and how they could best support me. So keep that in mind there, that, you know, you might have, it's not that you have to cut them completely out of your life, but you might have to back off the things that you used to do together on a normal basis. So if you went out with girlfriends every Friday night for wine or whatever, you might have to make some different plans from that. And they might be upset, but listen, this is your goal, right? This is your goal, not theirs. One of the things really quick that I want to touch on is, when you do try to involve people, friends and family, in your goals, make sure that you're using words that make sense. Don't just ask them, hey, can you support me? Say things like, you know, Mom, you're my biggest support, you're my biggest cheerleader, and I love you, and I know that you want this for me, I know you want to help me, so is there any way that you could, and then add how they can help you. You know, when I come to your house and you've made food, and I know that you love to show how much you love us by feeding us, but can you make sure that you understand that if you've made something I can't have, that I'm going to bring my own food, and I don't want you to be offended. I still love you. I do love your food, but I'm going to work with this for a while and see if I can't, you know, become a healthier person all the way around. So if you actually, it's almost like, you know, kind of like your kids, right? If you come home and you tell your kids, wow, your room's always a mess, you're such a pig. What did you just tell them? You just reaffirm to them that they're not clean, and pig's a horrible word, right? But if you say, wow, your room is not clean and this is not like you, right? So you're actually telling them, hey, you know, you're better than that. You know, I expect you to do something different. And if they hear that enough, they actually will start to buy into it. So same thing with friends and family. You know, you're my biggest support. I know, you know, you want this for me. You've always done such a great job supporting me, even if they haven't. You're actually breathing belief into, you know, their support of you. So, and that's okay, right? It's using positive affirmations in a way that helps you to reach your goals, right? So it works. It really does. Trust me, it works on that. So again, a couple of tips. If it's not, you know, if it's just not working and they're not supportive and they're constantly trying to, you know, they're leaving treats. I had a client once who, her coworkers kept leaving junk on her desk. And I thought, wow, that is just actually really, really rude and disrespectful. And I kind of was like, do you want me to come talk to them? Like, your trainer's mad. you know, you might just have to find a way around around that, to be like, you know, this is not okay. You know, I think it's very rude when people sabotage your goals and your dreams. So you might have to stay away from a few people for a while. My family got used to me eating a very certain way, and eventually my kids actually jumped on board because they saw, wow, not only does mom look and feel good, she's competing and she's doing these things. I don't compete anymore, but you know, a lot of them jumped on board and started to eat better. Even my youngest, who's 14 and likes to eat garbage at this point because he's a teenager, he'll say, you know, Mom, I know I'm not eating enough protein. What can I add to my meal? So they do pay attention. And worst case scenario, you know, maybe your mother-in-law is just being super unhelpful, and, you know, because she kind of likes to be spiteful there, whatever. You know, use that as fuel. You know, the best, I know this is crazy, but the way that I work the very best is having a chip on my shoulder. I just get mad, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show you, right? So if you're really not getting the support that you need, use that as fire. Use that as fuel to do it, get going. No matter what the goal is, whether you want to compete in a bikini contest, if you're just trying to be healthier and feel good, whatever that is, you know, use that as fuel to keep going. Like I said, I love it when people tell me I can't do something. I'm like, want to bet? Watch me. Right? Because that means I feel so disrespected, and I don't love that. You know, it's something I have fought my whole life. It's something I'm, you know, working to overcome, setting boundaries and all those things. But it really sets that fire under me to not only do my best because I want to show them, but, you know, really kind of exceed my own expectations along with theirs. And there's no better feeling than that when you at least accomplish, you know, even a half of the goal that you're trying to get to, and you know that you've done better than anybody think you could do. You know, there's your own level of respect for yourself. You know, that's part of, you know, becoming a better person and gaining the results that you want through your health goals. So, yeah, I know that was a little bit longer than my normal one, but it's so important to me because I know that we all want to have that support as we're working for those goals. It's not easy. Like I said, the physical part's the easy part. It's the hard part's the day in, the day out, the trying to make it priority, you know, dealing with all the craziness in our lives is especially, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever, you know, I have a lot going on in my life. I'm a single mom. I run my own business. My life is a little crazy right now. You know, you just find a way around it. And when life changes, your strategy has to change. So keep that in mind. Anyway, have an incredible day. You guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and the notification bell, because that way you see all the ones that come out after this. And if you have any ideas or comments, leave a comment down below. You can also message me directly through Facebook Messenger. I do respond every time. So have an incredible day, you guys. That is Weight Loss Psychology. We're just trying to help you to be the best you that you can possibly be. Have a great night.